Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the podcast where we take a source and really pull out the most, well, let's just say memorable bits.
Hmm.
You came to us wanting to get, quickly and thoroughly informed about sex based on this rather unique document, How to Give Good Sex. It's by a Dr. Hans Uberas.
Right.
And let me tell you, go ready. This is going to be quite a ride.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, we've really immersed ourselves in this one. It calls itself a comprehensive guide for men and women,
Mm-hmm.
full of mostly tested lovemaking tips.
Mm.
And, well, the perspective it's really something else.
Something else is putting it incredibly mildly, I think. Dr. Hans Uberas, he's not exactly subtle.
Yeah.
We're talking about an author who, describes himself as ugly, stinky, obese, right?
Uh-huh.
But then claims he's a tiger while making love with techniques so potent they could, I don't know, power a small appliance.
Oh, yeah.
He even hints his secrets will have supermodels knocking down your door. So, a confident guy, to say the least.
Absolutely. And it's not just about him. The book makes some, well, pretty broad promises for women, too.
Oh, yeah.
Suggesting it'll help them attract any man and then, and this is his phrasing, trap him into a bad marriage.
Trap him into a bad marriage. That's the goal.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
A very specific and, yeah, pretty odd goal, you'd think.
Okay, let's unpack the very beginning, because even the intro here has some real head scratchers. Before the mostly tested tips,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Uberas wants to make sure only grown-ups are reading, and his method for this is, well, memorable.
It's fascinating, isn't it? This attempt at age verification. The ebook, it says, uses the latest in age detection technology, using cutting-edge things like transistors and quarks.
Quarks, right, and the consequences if you're underage and you dare to peek, according to him, pretty dramatic.
Dramatic is one word for
He
it.
warns your e-reader will explode, sending glass shards into your face and eyes. And if that's not enough, he adds, and I'm quoting here, you will be blind and disfigured forever simply because you had a healthy curiosity about how babies are made. And it serves you right.
Charming.
Yeah.
Just charming. It definitely sets a tone, doesn't it?
It really does. Makes you wonder about the intended audience, maybe, and their sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. And then, almost like a footnote, there's this unexpected disclaimer.
Oh, the disclaimer, right. Apparently, if you follow all the advice, the adult film industry will somehow find out and offer you millions to engage in coitus with hot celebrities.
Yeah.
So, heads up if you're trying to avoid that career path.
It's like a warning against being too successful with his tips.
Exactly. It's this weird mix of exaggeration and maybe over-optimism about the book's impact.
Yeah, peculiar blend.
Yeah.
But okay, with all that said, our mission here today, in this deep dive, it isn't really to judge the quality or, the accuracy of this advice.
Right.
Instead, we're just here to navigate the, let's call it unconventional wisdom inside. Highlight the most memorable, often bizarre takeaways. We just want to understand the different perspectives on sex, however outlandish that this author is presenting.
Exactly. We're absolutely not endorsing any of this, just exploring the content.
Yeah.
So to kick that off, Dr. Uberas thinks we need to get familiar with some key sex lingo. Should we dive into his definitions?
Let's. What's fascinating is his unique take on common terms. Like sex is just making love.
Okay.
And orgasm is the end part of making love, often the messiest part. Fairly simple, maybe.
Maybe. A bit basic. But then we get to anatomy. Penis is the male sexual organ, but also called the wonder worm, or get this, Bruce.
Bruce.
And the vagina, that's where babies come out of, also known as the cooter, or rather sweetly, Bruce's best buddy.
Bruce's best buddy. So Bruce is popular. Personifying the organs is certainly a choice.
A distinctive one, and it keeps going. Anal sex is defined as making love with a control freak.
Wow, okay. That's pretty subjective, right?
Yeah.
And judgmental. Kind of tells you something about his biases, maybe.
It really does, and the food terms are just as inventive. Eating out. Apparently that's just going to a restaurant. Nothing sexual there for Dr. Uberas.
Huh. And then the sort of economic view of blowjob as usually between $15 and $50.
Right. Just strips away any kind of intimacy, frames it purely as a transaction.
Completely. Then you've got cars and tech. Transsexual is defined as having sex in a Trans Am.
In a Trans Am. Okay, I mean, maybe that happened once, but as the definition.
Hardly comprehensive, yeah.
Yeah.
And SM is just a scene where people spank each other for some sick reason. Again, super narrow, very judgmental.
Mm-hmm. And 69, just a real mouthful, maybe the most literal definition he gives.
Possibly. And then, totally out of nowhere, he defines BMW as the ultimate driving machine.
Right, so not all the sex lingo is even about sex. It feels kind of random.
Very disjointed, yeah. So after these enlightening definitions, he moves on to answer some common sex questions. And as you might guess, the answers are not exactly conventional.
Not at all. Like, what to do if you have trouble getting an erection? His advice. Ask a friend to step in and take over.
Ask a friend.
Or if you've got the cash, hire someone. It's just such a weird take on intimacy. It shifts the whole personal aspect.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
And his thoughts on birth control. Equally surprising. The best method.
Yeah.
Visiting a grammar school band recital.
A band recital? How does? What's the logic?
Who knows? But according to him, that's the surefire way to stop pregnancy.
Wow.
Maybe he's subtly pushing abstinence.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird way.
Maybe. Then there's the age-old question about, masturbation.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Touching yourself. According to Dr. Uberass.
Get this. Masturbation is perfectly natural and healthy and nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, sounds good so far.
Uh-huh.
But you will burn in hell for it.
Right. So it's natural and healthy, but also guarantees eternal damnation.
Got it. That kind of contradiction isn't exactly rare in sex discussions, unfortunately.
No, it's not. A real theological and physiological puzzle there. Okay, moving on. Marital harmony. What if your wife is faking an orgasm?
His answer is very definite. She is. Women don't have orgasms.
He just states it as fact.
Yep. Which, as you probably know, is completely wrong. Scientifically, biologically wrong. It sort of taps into that old, damaging idea that female pleasure doesn't exist or matter.
Totally. A huge inaccurate generalization. Okay, practical problem. Condoms too small. What do you do?
Dr. Uberass's advice. Tell everyone, even strangers. You might also want to rent a billboard.
Subtle. Really subtle stuff.
Very public airing of a private issue. And his grasp of biology keeps raising questions. Can you get pregnant from anal sex?
Apparently, yes. According to Dr. Uberass, you can. But the charming result is that the baby will look like shit.
Good grief, that's biologically dubious and just bizarrely crude. The image is certainly memorable. Unforgettable, maybe. And if you lose an erection, what's the fix?
Forget romance, he says. Go to the lost and found.
The lost and found.
Yeah. If yours isn't there, take one that is. Maybe it'll be even bigger. And then he just throws in this random bit about looking for lost gloves, too.
Lost gloves? Why? It's like stream of consciousness, just random thoughts popping in.
Exactly. Very odd. Okay, modern relationship query. Girlfriend owns a vibrator. What does it mean?
Well, according to Dr. Yu, if you're wondering if you're still a good lover, the answer is of course not. It just means she doesn't love you because you can't satisfy her.
Wow. Talk about undermining confidence. That really plays into some common male insecurities, doesn't it?
Totally. A really bleak, insecure take. Okay, what about if you're using, say, the birth control pill and it falls out during sex?
The simple, direct, and only solution offered. Blow him.
Yes, that's it. Again, seems to be his go-to fix for a lot of things.
Seems so. And if you're curious about your own tastes, maybe enjoy nipple pinching.
Straight up. Yes. Yes, it does make you a pervert. No nuance there at all.
Crystal clear, if not exactly sensitive or accurate.
Yeah.
And what about avoiding STDs? That's important.
His advice is almost circular. Don't have sex with people who have sexually transmitted diseases. Helpful. He also says avoid public toilets, suggesting it's better to just wet your pants.
Wet your pants. Seriously. That's a practical, if maybe unhygienic, alternative. Of course, for real info on STDs, see a doctor.
Please do. Okay, the big question. Average penis size. According to Dr. Uberass,
9.5 inches long.
9.5, okay.
In Europe, where they use the metric system, it is 5 centimeters.
Wait, 9.5 inches is 5 centimeters?
Yeah.
That conversion isn't right at all.
Not even close. Maybe European centimeters are different in his world.
Who knows?
Anyway, what do you call a guy having sex with 3 women at once?
According to this guide, damn lucky.
Concise. Maybe a common sentiment, but not exactly clinical. And a quick biology clarification.
Forget teaspoons. He clarifies men ejaculate semen. A teaspoon would hurt like hell.
Ouch. Yeah, vivid image there. Slightly unsettling.
Definitely. And finally, if anyone dares to question if all this stuff is actually true.
Dr. Uberass's response is direct and a bit aggressive. Mind your own damn business, Mr. Nosy.
Charming. So there it is, the sex lingo and common questions, Uberass style. Now, are you braced for his 10 sex moves for men, 100% guaranteed to work? With the asterisk.
Oh, the asterisk. May not work for most people, especially you, because you're unattractive and doomed to fail.
Right. What an encouraging start.
It's quite something. Insulting the reader right away, blaming him if the moves fail because they're supposedly unattractive, sets you up for success, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like preemptive failure assignment. Okay, but let's see these guaranteed moves. Method #1, the French kiss, which apparently means getting an actual French person to kiss her and making absolutely sure they haven't eaten any crepes recently.
The crepe warning. It's so specific. It's less about technique, more about outsourcing to a French national with good breath.
Exactly. Okay, move #2, the finger puppet. This involves inserting your finger inside her, wiggling it while also lifting her up.
Lifting her up.
And then bonus points if you pretend she's a ventriloquist dummy and make her tell jokes.
Ventriloquism. During sex. That's a novel approach. Maybe a bit infantilizing. Theatrical, for sure.
Very theatrical. Method #3, Dr. Lickenstein. The key here is to loudly announce, I am Dr. Lickenstein. I shall now lick your vagina before. While doing that works best on women you know, apparently.
Right, the performative announcement, maybe familiarity helps soften the inherent weirdness of shouting that.
Perhaps. Method #4, the breast caress. Simple instructions, squeeze her boobs, and crucially, try not to giggle.
Try not to giggle. Solid advice.
And the recommended sexy talk. Brace yourself. You got nice boobs.
Wow, so insightful. That's almost jarringly simple after Dr. Lickenstein.
Yeah.
Shows a maybe basic grasp of intimate talk.
You think. Okay, #5, doggy style. With the extra steps. Sniff her ass, then bite her.
Sniff and bite. Charming. Really leading into the doggy part, literally.
Yeah.
Hope consent was discussed first.
You'd hope. Okay. Method #6, the clit nuzzle. You're meant to gently stroke her clitoris, but then the big if. That is, if you can find it.
See, you can find it.
Yeah. He then wonders if the clitoris is maybe an urban legend, so he advises just stroke everything in the bathing suit area to be safe.
Everything in the bathing suit area.
Yeah.
His uncertainty about basic female anatomy in a sex guide? That's kind of concerning.
Understatement. Method #7, the missionary surprise. Dress up as a missionary, then yell surprise when you start having sex.
For sure.
Position, presumably.
The surprise element is there. Whether it's a good surprise or just alarming and confusing. Hard to say. The costume adds another layer of potential awkwardness.
Totally. Next, #8, the beaver pleaser. This is just telling her, straight-faced, you don't give a damn. Get it. It's a pun.
A pun. As a sex move.
Right. Seems a bit desperate,
Yeah.
comedically speaking. Highly questionable effectiveness, I'd say.
Agreed. Method #9, the compassionate lover. This means being really fast so she doesn't mind so much.
But fast, out of compassion.
Yeah, and then immediately turn on the TV because apparently a lot of chicks dig Oprah.
Rushing intimacy out of misplaced compassion, plus the stereotype that all women love Oprah, that's kind of dismissive of what women might actually want.
A very peculiar way to show consideration.
Yeah.
And finally, method #10, the wet snatch, which for some reason involves stealing her purse while she's in the shower.
Stealing her purse. How is that a sex move?
I have no idea. Nothing says romance like petty theft, right? The connection is just not there.
Completely baffling.
Yeah.
That sudden turn to crime is
Yeah.
just weird.
Okay, let's try to transition to the equally insightful section. What if I can't get it up? Dr. Uberas starts with a pretty grim outlook.
Oh, yeah. He calls it the sad truth that 100% of men over the age of 18 will inevitably suffer from erectile dysfunction.
100, often accompanied by uncontrollable diarrhea and cancer.
Oh, cheerful stuff. And completely medically wrong, right?
Both inaccurate and alarming. But don't worry, he has 10 tricks for getting hard that will work for absolutely anyone, followed by another asterisk.
Let me guess. Except for you, you flaccid loser.
Bingo. Still with the insults. Okay, trick #1, the splint. Use 2 popsicle sticks and some yarn. Apparently, she won't notice the difference.
Popsicle sticks, she won't notice. That's physically impossible and pretty insulting to her perception.
Absolutely. Trick #2, steroids. Specifically, if things start to fade, you should directly inject the steroids into your penis and testicles.
Inject steroids directly. That sounds incredibly dangerous.
It is. Huge health risks, definitely not recommended or safe.
Okay. Trick #3, dirty talk, which apparently means calling your partner a filthy, dirty slut, blaming her for your erection loss.
Oh, lovely.
And then his favorite move, it seems, stealing her purse while she's upset.
Purse theft again. Combining verbal abuse and theft to get an erection. That's just deeply disturbing. Zero respect.
Truly awful. Trick #4, oral to the rescue, helpfully clarified as performing self-fellatio.
Self-fellatio, mid-encounter. That requires significant flexibility and maybe not very practical.
Seems unlikely. Trick #5, porn. Have your partner hold your laptop
Hold the laptop.
while you find someone hotter online and just pretend you're with them. Romantic, huh?
Using your partner as a laptop stand while fantasizing about someone else.
Ah.
Yeah, not exactly fostering intimacy, is it?
Not likely. Trick #6, drugs. He mentions real ED meds, but then talks about side effects like making your poop your own liver,
Good cruise.
how to get them, rob a pharmacy, maybe shoot some people to show you're serious, and while you're there, grab some amphetamines and opiates for fun.
He actually advises armed robbery and hard drug use for ED. That's illegal, dangerous, wildly irresponsible advice. And the side effects sound totally made up or exaggerated.
Completely off the rails. Trick #7. The zip tie. Wrap a plastic zip tie tightly around the base. Supposedly makes it last for days.
A zip tie. Tight. That sounds bad.
Yeah, the warnings include it turning brown, smelling like bad cheese, and needing 10 snips or a saw to get it off.
Oh my God, that's potentially causing severe permanent damage. Restricting blood flow like that. Terrible idea.
Horrifying. Trick #8. The switcheroo. Keep a cucumber or a baby carrot for Europeans.
Cucumber or baby carrot?
Under the pillow. Swap it in if you lose your erection. Distract her by yelling, "I think the house is on fire." She'll never know.
Again, assuming the partner is completely oblivious.
Yeah.
And faking a house fire, that's just callous.
Right. Trick #9. Surgery. Mentions a penile implant balloon thing, but dismisses it in favor of stretched earlobes.
Stretched earlobes. How is that related?
No idea. Then he warns about getting STDs from toilet seats. Again, remember wetting your pants.
The random earlobes, a toilet seat fixation. It's just so disjointed and illogical.
Totally. And finally, trick #10. Mr. Willie's hoedown. His explanation. This doesn't mean anything. I just like how it sounds.
Well, points for honesty, I guess. Admits it's just nonsense.
Oh, at least on that one. Seems like some are just for shock value or weird humor, not actual help.
Definitely feels that way.
Okay, shifting gears pretty hard now. Let's look at sex moves for women. 100% guaranteed to work. And notice the asterisk. These really will work.
No insulting disclaimer for the women. That's
No.
telling, isn't it? Seems he has a much simpler, maybe more objectifying view here.
Seems like it. Method #1 is incredibly simple. Take off your top and grab his junk. That's it. No more explanation needed. Always works, apparently.
Just one assertive action is universally effective. That feels simplistic. Ignores mutual desire, connection, all that.
Totally. There is a bonus tip, though. Put his penis in your mouth. Also guaranteed.
Right.
And according to Dr. Uberas, master these two things, and a woman can have any man. Rock stars, married men, priests. Charlie Sheen is specifically mentioned.
Charlie Sheen. Wow. Okay. So, encouraging infidelity, objectification.
Final piece of advice for women. Fake that orgasm.
Of course. Just casually dismiss female satisfaction, tell women to fake it. That's ethically just awful. Problematic doesn't even cover it. Shows zero respect for female agency or pleasure.
Right. It's a truly bizarre, offensive section. Okay, let's try to pivot again. His thoughts on homosexuality. He starts by saying everyone goes through a curious phase about the same sex. And this phase lasts until your late 60s.
Late 60s. So framing actual orientation as just a temporary phase, that's dismissive and totally inaccurate.
Yeah. Then he offers some well-known facts. First, 2 women making love, inherently beautiful, should be filmed, and it's the law in 43 states.
A law to film lesbians. That's a completely absurd and baseless.
Right. Then he contrasts it with 2 men having sex. They don't need feelings, apparently. Just beer and sports, then get straight to it.
Wow. Just harmful, awful stereotypes all around. Skewed, objectifying views of same-sex relationships.
He does say both male and female same-sex relationships are 100% natural between consenting adults. Which sounds okay, but then he suggests using a lot of booze or even drugging them to get consent.
Drugging them. That's advocating sexual assault. It completely negates consent. Consent has to be voluntary, informed, freely given, not coerced, or done via incapacitation.
Absolutely. Just appalling. Okay, when it comes to the actual methods of gay sex, Dr. Uberas admits he has no clue.
He admits it.
Yeah, speculates it might be rubbing sex parts together or maybe some insertion. His knowledge in his own comprehensive guide seems pretty limited here.
That's quite telling, isn't it? Admitting ignorance on a major topic in his own sex guide highlights a big gap in his understanding.
Definitely. But he does offer specific gay sex tips. Tip #1, get yours first, then make up excuses not to reciprocate.
Get yours first, like, be selfish.
Yeah, excuses like, I need to rush home because the TV repairman is coming, or the classic, I think I might have herpes. And he says this works for straight people too.
Encouraging selfish behavior and lying, even about STDs. That's just irresponsible. Undermines any respect or honesty in a relationship.
Totally. Tip #2, use protection. Why? Because it's the only way to guarantee there are no unwanted pregnancies.
Unwanted pregnancies. In same-sex relationships, his biology understanding is still lacking, clearly.
Still fundamentally flawed, yeah. Tip #3 is about communal showers. He suggests openly staring at people.
Staring.
Maybe stroking your naughty bits, moaning, or even mentioning you have a gun to show interest.
Mentioning a gun.
Yeah.
These range from inappropriate to potentially threatening and illegal. None of that is respectful or healthy.
Not at all. And finally, gay sex tip, #4. Close your eyes and take it. For men, just imagine she's a woman with a big penis.
Erasing the partner entirely, relying on a hetero fantasy. Okay.
And for women, remember to film it with good lighting.
Film it. Why? Just focuses on external validation, performance for some imaginary audience, not actual connection or pleasure. Utterly unhelpful.
Completely useless. Well, we've somehow made it to the congratulations section.
Good.
Dr. Uberas declares you are now a sexual tiger, and you should celebrate immediately by having sex with whoever's nearby.
Right. Instant transformation based on that advice seems unlikely. And the celebration method is a bit indiscriminate.
Just a bit. He also begs you to tell everyone about his ebook so he can buy ethically sourced fur coats with a question mark and eat mink burgers with cheese.
Mink burgers. Wow. The unfounded sexual tiger claim, the blatant plea for promotion for his own weird financial gain.
Yeah.
It's absurd and comical.
Totally transparent. And then a note from the author. He basically demands positive reviews, lots of exclamation points, to dupe more buyers.
Dupe them, he says that.
Yep. And if you're disappointed, tough luck. It's your fault for being sexually inadequate.
Wow. Blames the reader. Zero accountability. Such a cynical, manipulative approach.
Exactly. And as a final plug, he pushes his other ebook on how to stop farting, telling you to buy it now, calling you stinky.
Stinky. Oh, the charm just never ends.
Yeah.
That cross-promotion just emphasizes the unique, questionable humor of the whole thing.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the truly extraordinary world of how to give good sex by Dr. Hans Uberas. We definitely found some memorable insights.
Memorable is one word for him.
Highlighting his unique definitions, consistently bizarre advice, and, yeah, a singular perspective on human intimacy.
What's really fascinating, I think, is just the sheer audacity. How shocking some of it is. It claims to be a guide, but veers into the absurd, the offensive, the medically wrong. So often, it definitely offers a perspective. It's just one that's wildly different from, conventional wisdom, science, or healthy relationship advice.
Absolutely. And it really does make you wonder, doesn't it? What does the fact that this book exists and presumably sells tell us about society, about attitudes towards sex, humor, what information people seek out?
Yeah, or maybe think about the role of satire, whether he meant it as satire or it just ended up that way accidentally, especially when talking about something so personal like sexuality.
That's a really provocative thought to leave listeners with. Definitely raises questions about how we consume information, especially on sensitive topics.
And how humor, even when it's this poorly done or offensive, can still find an audience somehow.
Indeed. Gives you something to mull over, for sure. What other unexpected, maybe equally bizarre insights are hiding in seemingly straightforward sources? Join us next time on the deep dive when we'll find something else to unpack.
Hopefully something with less purse theft involved.
Let's hope. Until then.